LeNique, of course.
LeNique.
LeNique, of course.
LeNique.
LeNique, of course. No question about it.
Hi, welcome to Life with LeNique. I'm here with my husband and co-owner of LeNique, Nicholas Kosovich.
Well, thank you, my darling wife, Lena Kosovich. Okay, so Chris Lynam from Arthur Murray Live and the Bay Area Arthur Murray Dance Schools has sent us some questions that he would like answered. But before we say anything about that, we want to say a big
Huge
congratulations for your beautiful brand new daughter.
Evelyn, welcome to the world.
So when you check this out, when you're ready to start dancing, you'll probably go to your mum and dad or Uncle Nick and Auntie Lena and ask them what are the 5 things that someone should look for when they're considering a dance costume.
Okay, the most important thing that I would say is, first of all, talk to the teachers at the studio or to their studio owners and get recommendations. Don't jump on internet and look for costumes from China or used costumes on eBay, because you will never be happy. I have never seen one client that was ever happy with a costume they purchased without consulting someone who really knows what they're doing.
You really want to be able to try it on, make sure that it's age appropriate, make sure that it's also style appropriate. Sometimes people when they first get into this don't know the difference between a ballroom dress and a Latin dress.
There's a very, very big difference, especially for the ladies wear. All the costumes have a built-in bodysuits, and they're made out of stretch fabric, which allows the body to move and be, have a freedom of movement. The second thing is that the costume will never feel like an evening dress or a cocktail dress. It will be way more comfortable if it's done by professionals. Yes.
I think that colors actually are going to become very important. Because quite often at dance competitions, you're on a brown floor, number one, or a light brown floor, and generally there's lots of spotlights and bright lighting, so you are going to look very pale. So bright colours, that's why a lot of people tend to go with bright colours, especially for the Latin American section, but not just Latin, also for smooth ballroom.
For me, the other very important thing is that do not think that if you don't wear a red colour in live, you may end up with a red dress, because by the time you put your makeup and by the time your hair is done, you probably do a little bit of a tan in, you're going to look so different.
So coming back to the 5 things, the next thing is what is your budget? We have, for example, at LeNique, my first LeNique, that's for people that are interested in getting into the competition side of it but don't want to go out and spend tens of thousands of dollars to completely attire themselves for all their competitions. We give them an opportunity to come in and start at a much more inexpensive level, and of course that's custom made as well.
And also a starter costume would give you an opportunity to take time and then discover what your personal style is. What do you like? Do you like prints? Do you prefer the evening look? Do you prefer a much more elaborate Latin American look? Do you like fringes? Do you like ruffles? Do you like feathers? You will go into that first dance competition and you will see so many options. You would see the looks, the colors, and you will probably create your own opinion later on.
What's another thing?
The other thing is probably trying as many costumes as you can.
So that way, if you do try on lots of costumes, you're going to be able to see what you personally like as far as the fit. And I would recommend bring a friend, bring one of your fellow studio members to come in and also learn about the costumes, but at the same time also give you some critique, some helpful suggestions as far as what you should cover up, what you shouldn't cover up. Should this be longer, shorter, wider, tighter, brighter, darker, and all of the other options.
Let's move on.
Okay.
So question number 2. What are the advantages of going with a custom design costume versus purchasing the ready-to-wear?
Well, we kind of covered that a little bit, because you're going to be able to get what you want, and also not just what you want, but what probably is going to be recommended for you. Again, if we switch to menswear, we have so many men that come in to get their custom-made Latin shirts and costumes and things, and we will tell them, this is what you're going to end up having, but you're going to start with this. But if you start with this, we can work around it, maybe add some decoration. How many men are scared of wearing bling these days? If they go to a competition and they come back and say, we should have taken your advice, we want bling now.
So, in my experience, and I've done this for quite a few years.
How many years?
Quite a few. So in my experience, if you're going with a custom design, make sure that you try something close to either a cut or color, the things that are important in that custom design. Sometimes your vision may not be the vision that it will come out, because the sketch is the sketch, but make sure that you tell that designer or whoever is helping you with that all the points that you're considering in that are important. Is that a fit? Is that the color? A special feature in the dress? You need to tell them basically exactly how you would tell your teacher on your first dance lesson. I would like to feel certain way. I would like to look certain way. So as many pointers as you could bring on the table for that design consultation are important. Either you have the color swatches, if you have things that you've seen in the magazine. So the more information, the better. Question number 3. If someone chooses to go with a used costume, what are some things they should watch out for before purchasing a used costume from someone? So if you're looking for a used costume and you're purchasing from a person, what should we be looking at?
Well, obviously wear and tear on the costume. Are there any seams ripped? Is there any threads that have snapped and broken? You want to look at the inside of the costume to see if it's well made. Is it value for money, especially if you're investing that amount of money. Plus also you want to look at what are the quality of, say for example, the rhinestones. I mean, here at LeNique we only use Swarovski crystals, and we only use the highest adhesives, the best quality, which are going to last. Quite often you'll get a costume which may have been repaired, if it's used, and they've used less, or I should say inferior rhinestones, which have a problem with their backs falling off. You can quickly see things like that. You want to make sure that the fabric that it's made out of is not going to bleed. If you go to get it dry cleaned or washing, are there care instructions inside the garment? Very important.
Do you think it's kind of like buying a used car? So you need to calculate how much money you're going to put in to make sure that drives. You could drive it out of a parking lot.
Well, you want to make sure that you're getting value for money, and you can easily do that by having a look around in the market, go to the dance competitions and the events, ask your teachers, but also look at, for me, it's the quality of workmanship, because you want to make sure that it's going to last you a long time, especially when you're making a sizable investment.
For me, I think 99% of these situations when people consult with me, should I buy this costume? And they would send me a photo or bring the dress, and they will say, I love that dress on a professional dancer and I'm buying it. Is that a dress for you? It may look fabulous on someone that you've seen it on, but you have to make sure that dress fits your body, fits your size. That's the style you should be wearing. Do you have bigger hips? Do you have bigger bust? Do we need to cover your arms? Is this the right length? Can that be altered to the right length? So there's little things here and there you should be looking for that may add up. So you may end up with a dress or a costume that is in your budget, but how much more are you going to be putting in that used car so you could drive it out of the parking lot?
Yeah, because you may have to get alterations. So you have to consider then, okay, I love this dress or this shirt or whatever suit. How much is it going to cost to actually make it fit me? Which when you weigh it up, it may actually turn out that it might be cheaper to go with my first LeNique or have a custom made costume.
Or have a brand new dress in the stock. So the other thing is to consider alterations to be put into that costume. Even if it's a suit that needs to be altered, let out, is that possible to get the same quality or same color fabric? Is it still available in the market? It could be really, really old dress that no longer available. That fabric is discontinued, or those stones are discontinued. It is possible too, and it happened before.
I remember just recently Lena spending countless hours trying to dye fabric to match a specific lace that was in a costume. We ended up doing it, but it was basically a whole day of dyeing to get the same
It took me
color.
about 5 hours to match the actual color because the fabric discontinued.
Okay, if someone chooses to, no, we've done that. What are some costume options for a full-figured dancer, as we call juicy or shapely?
What about men's wear? What are the things we should be considering for
Okay, so I'll start off with
the
this.
largest size?
Generally, if you're looking at suits, and I won't just say full-figured, I'm going to go for a cross-platform. It's very much like in real life. Generally, single-breasted suits are going to tend to, depending on the break or how low the jacket comes to, the higher the break, okay, the more closed in it's going to look and feel. The lower the break, the longer the chest area is going to look. So on somebody shorter, generally, you're probably going to find that quite often short people have actually a higher break. That's not necessarily the right ideal. You maybe sometimes want to be somewhere in the middle. Single-breasted and double-breasted, if we address that for a second, a double-breasted tends to make the body look wider. So I definitely don't recommend double-breasted jackets on big people. However, on the slimmer men, I would generally say you can go with a double-breasted, and of course the spacing of how wide we do the buttons is going to help to give you some added width. Same thing with length. With length of a jacket, if you're a little bit bigger and also a little bit shorter, we tend to not go too long on the jacket because we want to make sure that we're still proportionally giving you an even length of body to leg ratio. Taller, quite often we'll do slightly a bit longer so you don't hook all legs. So in covering a full-figured dancer, I would generally say for the men you want to go with something that's still fairly fitted, higher waisted pants, and often we would recommend wearing, say for example, suspenders to keep the pants at the right point, because that's often a big problem.
I think suspenders are beautiful. It's a great accessory.
Well, they're underneath the jacket, but you can wear them for Latin rhythm. You can wear them just over the top of a shirt, again to keep the pants in the right place. And with the jackets themselves, again, we tend to use stretch fabric, so they should be very comfortable. I would not go oversized. I would still try and keep them as firm fitting to the body as possible, just so that they don't swim around on the body.
The most important things, I think, are knowing your plus and minus. Most of the time, things could be not camouflaged, but and not covered up, but minimized through the drapes, fringes, linear lines, empire waist, softer fabrics, drapier fabrics, bold accessories, bold decorations that would put accents in the places that you would want to look at.
Which can also apply for men when they're looking at, say for example, the Latin wear, which is the same similar idea.
Where would you put the brooches?
What you said, appliques,
Right.
loose hanging,
Gotcha.
drapes,
All right.
short collars, this type of thing. I'm just adding that it could
But
be up from too.
it depends on the size and the shape of the figure. I have, done dresses for the full figure ladies where they were really fitted, but decorated specifically so that the positive and negative was, covered, right, enhanced. So again, it doesn't have to be really loose and baggy. We're not looking at that. Again, we're looking at body movement through the dancing. So we're using our body to move, with the music. So if everything is covered up and full and flapping around, that it's not going to be really help you with your dancing and with your results or with your performance, and you're not going to be happy. So there's a proper balance in dressing a full figure. Again, you have to really know your plus and minus. And then if you don't, then consult a professional.
Ask an expert, because image is everything.
All right, let's move on.
Moving on. A lot of guys are hesitant to wear a dance costume. What are some advantages for guys in wearing a dance costume? Well, number one is because we primarily use stretch fabrics, they're going to feel so much more comfortable. I mean, it's like if you wear a pair of dress pants on and then try to do a plie or a half split or a full split.
Oh, you wouldn't be hiking in a tuxedo, right? You would be, going up the hill and down the hill in a tuxedo shirt.
So it's important to think of, you want to be able to feel comfortable but also have the freedom to move. You don't want to be ripping the inseam or the crotch on your pants or the seat through a movement that you would possibly do whilst doing rhythm or smooth. The whole aspect of using a dance costume compared to street clothes is purely the form and fit. Aesthetically, you want to enhance it somewhat similar to how we decorate and make the costumes. You want to enhance your physical appearance. So a firm fitting waistband is going to help you keep the tummy in. Stretch fabrics, slightly wider pants so that they're not super narrow or stovepipe looking, so that it doesn't make your feet look too big. You know, most of the lap pants these days especially are slightly wider, but that tends to make your foot look slightly smaller. Whereas if you go narrower, like a regular pair of pants, your shoes look too big. So we don't want to overstate things that we don't want everyone to see, such as the feet highlighted, because you know, especially when you're learning to dance, you'll be learning all about the technique of how you use your feet, but you really want to cover that up until you know what you're doing.
Personally, let me jump in just a little bit. Sorry to put. I personally love walking to the dance studio and seeing everyone in the practice clothes. It doesn't have to be full on from head to toe, but seeing a gentleman taking a lesson in dance trousers versus regular trousers, you know, it's like it's really bringing up the whole value and, you know, the whole attention and intelligence to the craft. You're walking into the gym and you will not see anybody these days, you know, on equipment or running on a treadmill in jeans, for example, or in the dress shoes, in the patent Latin shoes.
They're wearing costuming that's applicable to what they're doing.
In the old days, you know, back in Europe, everybody always wore sort of a practice dance clothes, and you know, it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Always the case.
Exactly.
When you went for a dance lesson.
Exactly.
You know, a beautiful thing about a lot of the professional dance teachers is these days they still stay with that tradition and wear a shirt and tie when they're teaching dancing. Moving on. What are the current trends in dance costumes? That is a question I'm going to let my wife answer, but before she does, I'm going to say we have yet to create them.
For me, the most number one thing, and actually that will help someone to choose their costume. Yes, there are trends. However, each one of us have our own personal style, I do believe, and that you entering a dance floor in something that is so particularly you know, something interesting, something bold, or something different. Dare to be different. That would be the trend. And that's how the trends are created. If someone walks on a dance floor and they're wearing something different, and that's how the trend starts. But you know, something that really you know, back in these days is feathers, feathers, and feathers. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of, you know, sass going on.
I said I like feathers earlier.
And you know, fortunately and unfortunately, black color is always in. Bold kind of jewel-tone colors that are cobalts and sapphires and emeralds and, you know, bright reds and, you know, tomato reds are back in and they're dominating the market. Then you're going into the ballroom section and, you know, then you're looking at the pastel colors and shoes matching. The skirts are going back to the longer length, which is making me very happy because I never liked the 3/4 length ballroom dresses. I do love full, you know, long gowns. I love feathers on gowns. Classic, you know, classic lines and style, bold decorations are back in, and a lot of crystal and crystal AB.
For the men, wait till you see our new range.
Outside shorts are going out. The tucked-in shorts are back, gentlemen.
No more sloppy joes looking. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't mind if an outside shirt is fitted really well, but again, you should have an appropriate body for that look. For a lot of the professionals, I think it works. For some of the amateurs and students which aren't in as good a shape, I would say work on your body, but at the same time, think of a little bit more of a, I want to say, classy, more elegant look. There's always, for most of the ladies, definitely a favourite.
Exactly.
Cool. I think we've done it. So Chris, we've answered your questions. What we would like to do is we're going to send you some questions. We would like your answers in return so that next time we are here on Life with LeNique, we can hear what you have to say. So Chris, on behalf of my wife and I, we thank you for the questions, and for everyone out there watching, that's it for this week's episode of Life with LeNique. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook,
Twitter,
YouTube, like us on YouTube, watch all the videos,
Instagram,
and visit the website. Don't forget, you can always email us, call us, snail mail, however you'd like to. We're here for you.
Can I have my cup of coffee?